From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, after a fire destroyed a local high school's broadcast and communications building, Troy University has found a way to give back. Sarah Weeks has the story from our Montgomery News Bureau.
Saturday, August 18th marked the day that Booker T. Washington High School's Building C went up in flames. Within those flames were valuable classrooms and equipment, including a broadcast news studio. However, Troy University has found a way to restore some of what was lost. Troy donated a variety of television equipment, including cameras, batteries, a video editor, and an audio board, all of which was equipment used previously by Troy University's TrojanVision News.
At Troy, we know the importance of getting equipment in the hands of students, especially when it comes to broadcast students. And these students back here need equipment to learn off of. Practical hands-on experience is crucial to this business. So getting equipment in their hands is something we needed to do.
And although Troy University finds it important to prepare students for the work field, the donation held a bigger meaning.
What you see happening here today is the Trojan warrior spirit at work. It's the Trojan way. It's about others, about serving others and raising them up.
It is something that is inside every one of us. It stays with you when you leave Troy University. It is a love for one another. It is a love for good. And we hope that this is a gift for good for the students at Booker T. Washington.
For the students of BTW High School, this donation not only allows them the ability to create television newscasts. For one student, it's more than that. It's a renewal of confidence.
It just gives us more confidence for the competition because our confidence went down super low after the fire, but after today we think we'll be great.
But we're also beyond the equipment partnering with Troy University, and this is the beautiful piece of this. We're getting equipment, we're also getting the opportunity to collaborate with Troy.
That collaboration will include participation in this year's Journalism Day at Troy University. The students will be able to attend J-Day free of charge. In Montgomery, Sarah Weeks, Troy TrojanVision News.
The Trojan football season starts this weekend, and in celebration of the kickoff, everyone across the state is being asked to wear their team colors in support of Alabama higher education, much like this right here. Lauren Harkson shows us why in a report from our Montgomery News Bureau.
I, KIV, Governor of Alabama, do hereby proclaim August 31, 2018 as College Colors Day in Alabama.
There was quite the amount of commotion on Alabama's State House steps Friday morning, along with Governor Kay Ivey and the mascots of all 14 universities surrounding Alabama. A celebration took place at the annual proclamation signing of College Colors Day.
We are privileged to have 14 great universities that have lots of energy and enthusiasm surrounding their campuses and surrounding their alumni. So today we asked their mascots, who are kind of their front door representatives, to come and collectively help us say, let's celebrate.
What colors should they wear next Friday? And with Troy's football season just 1 week away, College Colors Day helps the students get into the school spirit.
Well, we had a great season in football last year, and this is just a kickoff for another great season for us moving forward.
And everyone loves colors and representing their school, but what is the real reason behind this annual celebration?
To help us remind everybody that universities change lives and they're worth supporting.
If our students are succeeding, the great state of Alabama will succeed.
And to represent how proud the student body of Troy University is, this is an opportunity to come together as one.
I think College Colors Day is just a great day because everyone on campus is wearing their Troy colors, and it just shows a lot of unity throughout the school.
It was on these Capitol steps that Governor Kay Ivey signed the 2018 proclamation for College Colors Day, and she encourages all students, faculty, and alumni to represent their favorite school on Friday, August 31st. In Montgomery, Lauren Harkson, Troy TrojanVision News.
The capital city was taken over by dragons last Saturday as teams of rowers from all over the region converged on the Alabama River for the annual Dragon Boat races, including a team of Trojans. Anna Kate Patterson has the details from our Montgomery News Bureau.
As Alabama's international university, Troy University takes every opportunity to spread knowledge of other cultures. Students and faculty from Troy and Montgomery campuses, along with the Confucius Institute, had an exciting opportunity on Saturday at the 9th Annual Montgomery Dragon Boat Racing Festival.
We really wanted to have a Troy team represent. We have faculty, staff, students, which was really neat to be able to combine everybody together and be on one team. But it's just a fun day, and it is competitive, but it's a fun day.
And while the Dragon Boat races are the main event, they are not the only competition of the day.
We've got 32 teams that have been paddling all day long. We also had our Gun Island Shoot Sup Cup, our stand-up paddleboard race this morning. So it's been a full day of water sports, just having a wonderful time down here.
Although many of the student team members had never heard of dragon boat racing until receiving an email from Waters at the beginning of the semester, sophomore Rayanne Dobler says she has gained from her experience.
I definitely gained some friendships and got to spend time learning about this new sport and learning about the culture and being part of this festival.
And even if you have attended the Dragon Boat Festival in the past, this year's event held a new attraction.
This year, we've actually added an art walk, so we have 18 artists on site, which is really unique for us this year. Normally we have like a lot of food and kind of like craft exhibitors, but this year we have 21 Dreams Collective down here highlighting some of the best local artists in the region.
Ann Szymanski says the Dragon Boat Festival is excited to welcome a new beneficiary this year. The Montgomery Area Food Bank will receive part of the proceeds from today's event. In Montgomery, Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
With the sound of beating drums, cheers, and chants in the background during the Dragon Boat Festival, local artists had the opportunity to share their work at the Art Walk on the river. Paige Weeks has more.
As dragon boats raced on the Alabama River, on land, local artists had the opportunity to talk to spectators and showcase their art. 17 artists were present for the third and final installment of the Downtown Art Walk series. The bi-monthly art series hosted by 21 Dreams Art and Culture Organization began earlier in June and wrapped up Saturday.
The Art Walk is one of our public engagement opportunities that allow the artists and the community to come out and see the art, and a public display without having to go out into a museum or a gallery space, but we're bringing it into the community.
As shoppers explored the different booths, they were able to not only look at a variety of different artworks, but also talk to the individuals that created them. This, according to Gil Chris, is what makes the Art Walk unique.
When people are shopping and looking for work, they want to know about the artist. They want to know what inspired them, what this piece means. You're not going to get that backstory when you appreciate it, but there's a deeper appreciation when you know the artist, when you know that it's from somebody that's living.
Although the Art Walk is meant to allow community members a chance to experience some handmade art, it also allows the local artists a chance to mingle and draw inspiration from each other.
I know a good few of the artists here, and they're all really wonderful, and I'll be walking around and checking out their tables a little later in the day. It does make me want to really set myself apart, and doing something like hand embroidery makes me a little different, but I think everyone has their own style.
Well, as you may have noticed, all the stories you've seen so far have come out of Montgomery. Well, that's because there's a class offered by the Hull School of Journalism and Communication that gives students the chance to cover stories in the capital city. Seth Hawk has the details on our Montgomery News Bureau from our Montgomery News Bureau.
Students from Troy University's School of Journalism have the opportunity to get hands-on experience at the Troy TrojanVision News studio. However, some students have the opportunity to take a class called Advanced Television Practicum that requires them to travel to Montgomery in order to gather news. And according to one student, the chance to get outside of her comfort zone in Troy is an amazing opportunity.
It's definitely a little more nerve-wracking. You know, I'm from the Troy area. I'm used to smaller towns and cities, so Montgomery seems a lot bigger than what I'm used to. But the chance that we get through this class to be able to go cover things like state-level events, that's something you can't get in Troy, and it's something that I'd like to add to a resume reel at one point.
And because of the Montgomery area being a larger market than Troy, the likelihood of a student journalist to cover the same story as a professional news station is very likely. And according to the professor of this course, Robin Taylor, getting to be with the professionals is a big incentive for the students to improve.
This class puts the students side by side journalists who are in Montgomery working for WSFA or Alabama Newsnet or the Montgomery Advertiser or Alabama Political Reporter. So some of those professional journalists who are already out doing the jobs that our students want to do are going to be side by side. They're going to be able to hear the questions that those professionals ask. They're going to be able to up their game, so to speak.
Most of the stories that air on Troy TrojanVision News occur in Troy, but because of this class requiring students to come to Montgomery to get their stories, this course will prepare journalism students for the real world.
I think this will help us later when we graduate Troy and move out to different areas, definitely to get out of our comfort zones, to be able to say we've done something that's a little more in the city and different events that happen in the city that you just can't get to in smaller towns.
Each student in the class is required to cover at least 5 news stories in the Montgomery area.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll see how Troy students learned about volunteer opportunities in the Troy area. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University.
Initially, I was a little skeptical that they would give anybody permission to publish it just because the estate is very careful about what they give permissions to.
Join us for The Talk of Troy, Fridays at 8:45 a.m. and 3:44 p.m., and Sundays at 4:35 p.m. on Troy Public Radio.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
Troy University offers students the opportunity to volunteer in the community through the Office of Civic Engagement. And this week, students had the chance to learn more about some of those opportunities while meeting the new person in charge of the office. Anna Kate Patterson has the story.
Troy University's Office of Civic Engagement gives students the opportunity to volunteer and give back to the community surrounding them. Whether a student has a green thumb, wants to work with children, or love on furry friends, Civic Engagement's new coordinator, Lauren Cochran, says there's a project for everyone.
We like to partner with different organizations in our community to make sure that not only we have a good fit for our students, but we also are doing things that are going to benefit those agencies that are serving so well in our community.
Cochran also says that through those partnerships, the Office of Civic Engagement is able to identify specific needs in the Troy community. Food insecurity is just one of the needs that have been identified. Campus Kitchens is a weekly program that Civic Engagement uses to battle that issue.
On Thursdays, we recover meals from the dining hall, that's excess meals that they save for us, and then we reapportion those meals into containers, and they go out on Friday to kids at Head Start. It gives them a meal to have over the weekend for families that are struggling to make ends meet.
The Office of Civic Engagement's biannual week of service is coming during the week of September 11th. There will be several projects that students can volunteer for, one of those being to move garden beds at Troy Elementary School.
We currently have some garden beds out there, but we want to house those in one location. And so we're going to be moving those garden beds and putting up a fence and really making this a point of pride for the Troy Elementary students.
Students can get involved with the Office of Civic Engagement by signing up through Volunteer Hub linked on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy's Student Support Services kicked off the semester with a motivational event Tuesday night in the Trojan Center ballrooms. Shantia Wilson has that story.
Troy students filled the Trojan Center ballrooms Tuesday night to get a message of resilience from motivational speaker Tommy Mabry.
I hope that kids will take the message that it's never too late to give it everything you got. It's not an expiration date on success. No matter what's the situation, no matter what's the circumstances, you can still be amazing if you give it everything you got. So my goal is to just inspire them to touch that thing that they operate inside and just allow them to just maximize their potential.
Mabry started out on the wrong path but is now sharing his story of success and letting others know that, like him, they can align themselves with the right path by practicing good habits. One student shares what inspired her most.
What I got from the message tonight was basically that through adversity brings strength and
willingness to be able to do something, and he said that you have to have your grind match your dreams. So if you put forth that effort and everything that you want to do, the effort that you need to put forth, then you'll be able to accomplish anything, and I definitely took that away tonight.
Troy University's Student Support Services held the event to inspire students of all backgrounds to stay motivated and proactive about future goals.
I believe this event was specifically important to our students because it was someone who came from an adverse background and someone who is either has walked the same line that they have walked or and made it. I think it was really important to see somebody not only coming from the same background or less than what our students have and make it, and not only, complete a bachelor's degree but get his master's and then continue on to get a PhD.
Shantia Wilson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The start of a new school year brought a new way to get around campus, spin bikes. The rent-to-use bicycles are available all around campus and in some places around town. Taylor Pollock got some student reaction to the new transportation option.
At the beginning of this semester, Troy University introduced spin bikes, a new way of getting around campus, and students are already talking.
I personally think that the scooters and bikes are a really good idea. It makes it easier to commute from class to class, and plus they're just fun to ride. So if you haven't checked them out, I definitely say check them out.
Well, they were new, and I seen everybody riding them around, going fast, getting to class and stuff, and I figured I would try it out too.
You can use the spin bikes and scooters with or without a membership, but the cost to operate varies depending on whether you have one. Once you get to where you want to go, you simply leave the bike for the next student to use.
I have a lot of my classmates that use the scooters and the bikes, and they like them. They actually are better than bringing your own bike because they're already here.
It's just really inconvenient to have a bike because you have to carry from place to place, and if you're going to stay at someone's to hang out or go to a class, you have to park the bike, but these, they're everywhere. So when you see it, you can just use it and you can leave it. So it's way less hassle.
Many Troy students consider the spin bikes to be a promotion of health and wellness, a solution to the lack of parking, and simply a fun way to get around campus.
Do you think that this promotes maybe health and wellness on campus?
Yeah, I would say so, definitely.
Oh, they're really fun. When they first start, they're a little scary because it does get fast pretty quickly.
Parking is obviously horrible, and this is my first year here, and I'm already like, killing the parking. But with the bikes, it's easy commute from class to class around campus, and it eliminates the parking part. So,
Taylor Pollock, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The rodeo was in town last weekend. However, before the professional cowboys put on their boots, it was time for a little amateur action to get people in the spirit. Paige Weeks shows us how.
For most Santa Fe Cattle Company customers, seeing a bull outside the restaurant is not unusual. However, that bull is much more tame compared to the bull that was in the parking lot this morning for a celebrity bull riding event.
We call it a celebrity. It's not necessarily, we get office holders and things as you saw today with the sheriff and the probate judge and those kind of folks here, but also our sponsors.
And although the rodeo doesn't start until tonight, local community members and some Troy celebrities decided to come on out and ride the bull. And not only were riders struggling to remain on the bull's back as it bucked, kicked, and threw them, each individual was also competing to see who could stay on the bull for the longest time. But at the end of the day, there could only be one champion, and that honor went to a man who has been in the saddle before. And although this wasn't his first rodeo, he says the event was a good time and beneficial for the upcoming weekend.
It's a lot of fun. So a good way to get our rodeo kicked off each year, and we just appreciate Santa Fe doing this and all their support.
The Celebrity Bull Riding event is just the beginning as the 26th annual NCPRA Rodeo Weekend begins. The rodeo will feature bucking stock, barrel races, pony rides, and several vendors, all of which is happening in order to serve a bigger purpose.
Everything is to educate the general public about agriculture, especially the youth. So our 4-H, our steer shows and heifer shows and those sorts of things is what our building's used for.
While Troy University is known for welcoming students from around the world to study on the Troy campus, there are also chances for Troy students to study abroad, and students had the chance to learn about some of those opportunities in China thanks to ISCO. Janae Jordan has the details.
Every Thursday night, ISCO hosts their weekly meeting to bridge the gap between domestic and international students where they share information about different cultures. This week, study abroad students presented a presentation to inform the ISCO students about studying abroad.
Tonight, it was really a good opportunity to talk about our travels and how much just immersing yourself in another culture can really have on you as a person. And so we wanted to be able to have a night to share that with other Troy students that might be thinking of studying abroad.
Students shared their experience while in China, where they visited the Great Wall of China, the Silk Market, and the Terracotta Warrior Museum.
I'm just really excited about it. I love being in China. It was so exciting. The people in China are incredible.
Studying abroad is a great way for domestic and international students to meet new people and see a different culture. The study abroad students share advice on how to step out of your comfort zone and experience something new.
Be open, always be open, and accept problems that arise with as much grace as you can, and treat everything as a learning experience, because truly everything that happens, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it is a learning experience.
ISCO will host their next meeting Thursday, August 30th at 7 o'clock in Hale Hall. Janae Jordan, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
What's the most you've ever won playing rock, paper, scissors? Well, on Wednesday, one Troy student won free food, courtesy of the Student Government Association. Joshua Thomas has the story.
Troy University's SGA held a rock, paper, scissors tournament Wednesday afternoon during quad time as a chance to promote student involvement with the opportunity for free Chick-fil-A.
We played a rock, paper, scissors tournament for the past 6 minutes. It was awesome. Gave away a $20 gift card to Chick-fil-A. We're hoping to do more events like this to come.
With this event, the SGA hoped to improve student relations and have some fun with their fellow Trojans.
The point of this event was to make one student super happy because they got $20 to Chick-fil-A, but really the underlying value was to get people outside, communicating on the quad, talking to fellow Trojans, playing with fellow Trojans that they might not see or notice on a day-to-day, and just create that Trojan pride, Trojan family atmosphere that we have on campus.
Winner Fletcher Robinson comments on his strategy for the tournament and what he plans to do with his winnings.
Do the thing. Like, put out the right, jutsu hand sign. I buy about 7 spicy chicken sandwiches and then hate myself for a week.
Vice President Morgan Long comments on the future events of the SGA.
Next event for SGA, we're having a pep rally tomorrow at 5:30. However, we will have another quad time. We will release that date later, and we will be playing a Simon Says tournament. So make sure you're out here for Simon Says.
Joshua Troy, TrojanVision News.
Well, it's time for our last break. When we return, we'll learn about an art talk coming up on campus featuring artist Noel Hollis. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Alabama artist Noel Hollis will be on campus next week to talk about an exhibit on display in the gallery named in his honor. We'll learn more about the event in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. My guest today is Carrie Jackson. She's a curator at the International Art Center here at Troy University, and she's here to talk about an exhibit in the Noel Art Gallery. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And we're talking about an exhibit and an artist talk. The Noel will be up here to talk about this, and we'll talk about more about the talk. But first, give us some background on the exhibit that he's going to be here to talk about.
Sure. Alabama Art Inside Out is the exhibition we have, and it is based on a book and an exhibit that Nall gathered in 2000. He did portraits of 12 artists that were some more well known at a international level, and some lesser known artists. And he wanted to show the world how much talent we have in Alabama. And this book that he published in 2000 accompanied this exhibit of the 12 artists, and he later added 2 more artists into the group. And we have been able to take this art that Nall has graciously donated to Troy University and collected some other pieces and brought this show together to have for our community to enjoy.
To see all this art by all of these Alabama artists, and like you said, it's it covers artwork from artists that are probably more well known and some local artists, but focusing on a lot of people may not realize that there's art coming out of Alabama. One might think that that this is something that only happens in big cities, but it's here. And I guess that's in the focus, Nall's focus originally, but then having it all collected in one place here at Troy University seems like a pretty monumental task and something amazing to behold.
Right. We're very fortunate to have the presence of 14 artists plus Nall, 15 artists total in this show, and just being able to experience all of them at one time. And what I think is really amazing is seeing Nall's portraits that he often, or many of the portraits were done in collaboration with the artist, if it was possible. And just seeing the art by the artists alongside the portraits, and you can it's a very comprehensive experience of seeing Nall's vision of that artist, and as well as the beautiful work that artist made themselves.
And of course, Nall will be here on campus to talk about this, talk about the artist talk and when and where that's going to be, and what the expectation is there. So
sure. So September 7th, it's a Friday, from 5 to 7 p.m. we'll have it open to the public, and Nall will be in attendance, and he will be giving an artist talk, and we'll have some of the other artists and families of artists and lenders in our presence, and we will have a reception, and just to get to know the art a little better through Nall's eyes.
And I'll say, and that sounds like the opportunity. He was inspired to put this together, but then to hear an artist talk about another artist's work, it's going to be something that the people that come to visit will get a kind of a unique opportunity to not only just to see all this artwork, because all of the individual artists' work will be there, but then to hear someone who has kind of an intimate relationship with those artists and that work be able to talk about it. It just seems like a great opportunity for art lovers out there.
Definitely, and Nall is the biggest art lover. He's been collecting art by these artists for a long time, and he has a very extensive collection of art, and just having access to the public to be able to see what Nall saw as just amazing art, it's a great experience, and all ages can enjoy it. So we really hope that the public comes and joins us on September 7th.
All right, and if they want to see it, the display is up now. It's been up, so and it will be up for a while. So they'll have a chance to come by and check it out, even if they don't make it to the talk or can't make it to the talk. Especially with football season right around the corner, opportunity people making the trip to Troy or coming through here. This may be something they want to stop and check out. And how long will they have the opportunity to do that? So
we have the show officially up until November 9th. And we will, some of the work is in our permanent collection. We will have the show travel after this end date, but we will make that available, the locations, and so the public can enjoy. So
they can see it, because after it'll be here at least until the 9th. He's November 9th, you said, but then it's going to hit the road, and so folks can get an opportunity to maybe see it come closer to their home if they don't get that chance. So, but once again, an opportunity to see the art at any time between now and November 9th, and then once again, when and where will be the art talk with Nall?
The art talk is September 7th. It's on a Friday from 5 to 7 p.m.
in the International Arts Center, in the Nall Gallery in the International Arts Center. All right, well, Carrie, thanks for joining us today and telling us about this art talk and the exhibit, and it sounds like an opportunity for folks to enjoy some good art.
Yes, I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened this week. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune in to Troy Trojan Vision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday. or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy Trojan Vision News fan page on Facebook and see online content from Troy Trojan Vision News anytime. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy Trojan Vision Weekly. Have a good week.